For as long as we humans have looked up at the night sky, we've asked this one simple question. What is all of this actually made of? For centuries, we had some pretty basic ideas, earth, water, fire, air. But the reality that science has uncovered, oh, it is so much stranger and frankly more wonderful than we ever could have imagined. So let's dive into the ultimate recipe for reality itself.
But first, I have to start with what is probably the single most mind-bending fact in all of science. What if I told you that everything you know, every star, every planet, every person, the device you're watching this on, is just a tiny, tiny fraction of what's actually out there? Because, well, according to our very best measurements, it is.
Just take a look at this. This is the cosmic recipe. Almost 70% of the entire universe is something we call dark energy. Another, 27% is dark matter. And that tiny little sliver, just under 5%, that's us. That's everything we can see, touch, and measure. It means 95% of the universe is completely invisible and totally unknown to us. So, okay, let's start with the part we actually understand.
All right, let's talk about that 5%. This is the stuff of our everyday lives. This is the one slice of the cosmic pie that actually feels like home.
So, what is ordinary matter? Well, it's anything made of atoms. It's the chair you're sitting on right now, it's the air you're breathing, the planet right under your feet, and it's even the most distant, brilliant stars and galaxies you can spot with a telescope. It's all the tangible, touchable stuff of existence. And here's what's so beautiful, so poetic about all this. The heavier elements that make up our bodies, I'm talking about the carbon in your cells, the calcium in your bones, the iron in your blood, all of it was forged in the fiery hearts of massive stars that lived and died billions of years ago. We are, quite literally, made of stardust.
All right, ready to get weird? Let's dive into our first major mystery ingredient. See, something is holding the entire universe together, but it's completely invisible. A great way to think about it is as the universe's hidden skeleton.
So here's the puzzle that first tipped scientists off. When we look at galaxies, we can see they're spinning at absolutely incredible speeds. So fast, in fact, that the gravity from all the visible stars and gas shouldn't be nearly strong enough to hold them together. They should be just flinging stars out into deep space. But they aren't. So why not?
And this is how they figured it out. Scientists followed the evidence. First, they looked at a galaxy's spin. Then, they calculated the amount of gravity that would be needed to keep it from flying apart. And the numbers just didn't add up, not even close. The visible stuff didn't have nearly enough mass, so the only logical conclusion was that there had to be some other invisible mass providing all that extra gravity, and they gave it a name: dark matter.
Dark matter is really best defined by what it doesn't do. It doesn't interact with light at all, which is exactly why we call it dark. It doesn't glow, it doesn't reflect, it doesn't even cast a shadow. It seems to pass right through you, me, and the entire planet, as if we weren't even here. The only reason we know it exists is because we can feel its gravitational pull on everything else. And this gets to its most important role. Dark matter isn't just floating around randomly. It forms this colossal, invisible scaffolding that stretches across the entire universe, what scientists call the cosmic web. And galaxies, like our own Milky Way, actually form and cluster along the immense filaments of this web, kind of like dewdrops on a spider's silk. It's the backbone of the cosmos.
Okay, so if dark matter is the invisible force holding things together, what happens when we discover an even bigger, even more mysterious force that's doing the exact opposite? Well, meet the heavyweight champion of the cosmos.
See, for most of the 20th century, everyone assumed that the expansion of the universe, the thing that started with the Big Bang, must be slowing down. I mean, gravity pulls things together, right? Makes sense. But in 1998, astronomers looking at distant supernova found the complete opposite. The expansion is actually getting faster and faster. Something out there is hitting the cosmic gas pedal. The best way to think about this is as a great cosmic battle. On one side, you've got gravity, and it's constantly trying to pull matter together to build stars and galaxies. And on the other side, you have this mysterious dark energy, a property of empty space itself that's pushing everything apart, a cosmic tug of war.
And here is the knockout punch. Dark energy is winning, and it's not even close. It makes up over 2/3 of everything in the universe. This bizarre anti-gravitational force is, by far, the most dominant component of our reality.
So, we have ordinary matter, the stuff we're made of. We have dark matter, the invisible glue. And we have dark energy, the mysterious accelerator. Let's put it all together and see what the complete picture of our universe really looks like.
So here it is again, our final recipe. Dark energy, the accelerator, pushing everything apart, makes up 68%. Dark matter, the cosmic glue holding galaxies together, is about 27%. And ordinary matter, the stuff of you, me, and the stars, is less than 5%. Each ingredient has its own distinct and absolutely crucial job to do.
But what's really fascinating is that this recipe has changed over time. In the early universe, it was matter and dark matter that were in charge, pulling things together to form the very first stars and galaxies. But as the universe kept expanding, the influence of dark energy grew and grew, until about 5 billion years ago when it finally took over and started accelerating the expansion that we see today. And this brings us right back to the most humbling truth in all of science. We have these names for them, dark matter, dark energy, but we have absolutely no idea what they fundamentally are. We've essentially managed to map out the scale of our own ignorance, and it turns out that 95% of reality remains a profound, incredible mystery. So the next time you look up at the night sky, just remember this. All those stars, all that brilliant light, all of that incredible beauty, it's just the foam on the surface of a vast, dark, and unknown cosmic ocean. And our journey to understand what's in the deep has only just begun.